Oil and gas. There we go. This is being streamed. I'm never going to get funded by them. It's okay. Win some, lose some. Anyway, that's the first. The second is textiles, clothing. So textiles is the second biggest polluter in the world. And we don't think of that. You know, we can go to the shops and we're like, oh, I really like that top, or I like this, and we buy it. And it's one of those that past that purchase, we don't think, how much did that person get paid to make it? The ethical sides. We didn't think, what's that material made from? Does anyone know this? You know, when you wash your clothes in like a washing machine, microplastics, you know, they're looking at about 7 million particles per wash. So just by washing your clothes, 7 million particles of plastic get put into the water system. And I hope we all wash our clothes here, right? I've had conversations where people go, no, not really. Yeah, we're just students. No. So the idea is, you know, looking at the fabric, what's it made from? Is it cotton? What's it doing to our health? The recent stats about microplastics in the human body, don't know if anyone's seen any articles, but it's around in the UK, I don't know about Spain, but 7 out of 10 of us. So if we look in this room, maybe Layla and yourself, out of this room, and oh, you can have it as well, you know. You guys, if tested right now, would be clean. The rest of us would have microplastics in our bloodstreams and our organs, right? They find microplastics in the placentas of pregnant women. What's it doing to fertility? They found that people with microplastics in their body have a higher risk of heart attack and strokes because it actually starts to clog the arteries, right? This isn't a joke. Like, we are genuinely drinking tap water or even bottled water, and we're drinking thousands and thousands of pieces of plastic. So the question is today, it's like, do you consent to that? This is your body. This is your water. The water company doesn't own the water, right? They don't own your body. It's a natural resource. And the fact is, the water's being polluted, the rain's polluted, even our food. They find it in vegetables, right? So here's a little known fact. A lot of the water companies, they actually sell, when they clean the water, and you get basically like all the stuff that rises to the surface, I won't say what it is, right? They actually then skim it off and they sell it as fertilizer. So then farmers go and put that on their fields. So then your food is grown then with everything that has gone through the human system. Right? And it's covered in microplastics, pesticides on top of it, right? Spray some fertilizers on top. It's a cocktail of awful things, right? That we're then consuming. And as students, as people from university, you're studying, right? You didn't consent to that. You didn't ask for that. So it's like, why should you accept that? So to me, when I was in fashion, I started to look to kind of scope back to where we were. I started to ask those questions. Okay, if textiles is that polluting, why am I a part of it? Right? Because I think a lot of the times that we can say, you know, we'll even go on protests, you know, stop oil or whatever it may be, right? The fact is, are you taking action towards these things? And for me, it's like, I love nature, I love the ocean, but my industry, my job is the exact industry that's polluting it. So I thought to myself, I need to change. And I think a lot of times until we have that honest conversation with ourselves and you say, is what I'm doing aligning with what I believe? Because a lot of times as humans, right, we do things that we don't believe in. It's just a natural thing, whether it's friends, peer pressure, money, pay. Unfortunately, you know, we've got that evolution in us, right? That we're like, we need to survive. But does it actually agree with what you believe deep down in your heart, you know? So I thought to myself, how can I change fashion? And do you think humans, no, it's all right, come in. Round of applause. No, how I do it. You know, as a human, right? This is the thing. Do you follow what you believe? And I thought to myself, I'm not following what I believed. But if given, let's do a census here, right? If there's a hard way or an easy way to do something, who would choose the hard way here? Put your hand up. Okay, we got two. That's good. Who would do the easy way? Right, there you go. Because that's what's in us, right? We like the easy route. So to me, once again, I was like, I'm gonna do the easy thing. I'm gonna make fast fashion. Right? Honestly, this is the lies that I told myself. It's like I'm gonna make fast fashion sustainable. I mean, them two words you're right, don't mix. Like the concept of buying cheap, overproduced clothes in a sustainable way is absolutely bonkers. But that was my first port of call. I thought, let me do it. And do you know what? I managed to waste 3 months of my life doing it. It was great. Sitting there going, maybe if we change the fabrics, maybe if we do this. It was just absolute nonsense, but I had to learn. That was the whole point. It's the learning process. When I realized trying to make fast fashion sustainable is like putting a triangle cog in an engine that's got circular cogs, just does not work. So then I thought to myself, how can I need to forge the path here. You know, nowadays, right, especially being students and in university, everyone's talking about eco, green, circular economy, donut economy, right? Even in fashion companies, they're like, give us your clothes back. We'll give you a coupon, right? But they're finding these systems, when you donate your clothes back to a lot of these shops, they then just send them to Far East Asia and they're not actually recycled. They're actually sold on markets and they're bought or they're burnt. So, the whole system, recycling, circular economy, it needs a lot of work put into it. And I thought to myself, how can I just do my small part? So I went into fashion again, not fast fashion in that thing. And also the word sustainability, I wanted to do a sustainable fashion brand. And then I kind of had to work out, what does sustainable and fashion have in common? What are they? How do we operate? How does the customer interact with us as a brand? How do they interact with the garment? So, the first thing we did on our website, we put only buy what you need. Honestly, I couldn't make this up if I tried. Like, do you think someone's going to listen to you? You say only buy what you need. We started getting orders in like 6 of one color. And I was like, this just isn't working, right? So once again, change the model, review. I'm sure in your research and things like that, you're always looking at try a system, prove it, review it, try again. And that's what we've done over the last, it's been now 7 years. We've got Vayyu to a point where we became the second most ethical brand in the UK, which was phenomenal. We use organic fabrics, wind and solar powered factories, use dieffluent systems, sand filtration pits to clear the water. So any water that we use, we put back in the same quality as it came, actually cleaner because it takes the microplastics out now. But the fact is, we're still learning. I don't think there's such a thing as true sustainability. I think we use that word so much. You can say, oh, this is a sustainable bag, sustainable car, drive an electric car. What madness. Like when you think about it, you may think, okay, we lower the emissions in a city. Okay, then so where does the lithium come from? At this conference here, we're just talking about deep sea mining and there's applications going in all over the world, especially actually in Spain. There's some going on, right? The idea is that because we need now more lithium, we need cobalt, nickel, all these different rare precious metals. And where can we get them from? The bottom of the ocean for electric cars, for mobile phones, for computers. So it's about saying like, there's no true right answer right now. I think we're pioneering it. I think we're in the generation that is literally going to make some huge mistakes, but get some huge wins out of it as well. We're looking at wind farms off the coast, right? Of Spain. And then obviously the local residents said, yeah, but you're going to ruin the view. So then it's once again, you've got to think, is it culturally important to maintain that view of the coastline? But at the same time, we need wind farms apparently. So once again, sustainability, as I always say, is a paradox. I think every truth has an underlying value, but at the end of the day, it can be contradictory. And I think that's what we need to work out between us, because you probably have lots of lectures where people go, this is right, this is wrong, I think we're working it out. I don't think anyone truly knows what true sustainability is. I think you can go back to indigenous learning. You can look at, tribes in the Amazon. You can look at these things, sustainable cultures that have thrived for thousands of years, but we're not going to do that. We're not willing to have that lifestyle, right? Because we all want smartphones, speakers, microphones, right? We live in a modern world. So my journey from Vayyu was always about, let's just do the next thing. Let's try, let's review. So from that, we managed to scale Vayyu to a good size. But yeah, great. Once again, I felt like I'd done nothing. You know, if sustainability, if the world is 100% here, right, healthy, where do you think the world is right now? Like, I think we're going down a bit, right? So if we say we're sustainable here, that means we are sustainable at a poor level. And that for me is not good enough. If the world was healthy and we say, oh, we're being sustainable, that's good, right? You're maintaining that standard. But right now, we're like down here. So I thought to myself, having this sustainable fashion brand, yeah, we're doing good. We're promoting organic cotton, no use of pesticides, you know, looking at not tilling the soil, things like that. But the fact is, it wasn't good enough. So, you know, we had that easy and hard survey. Who thinks, general question, I did the hard thing? Oh, one. I like you. Oh, two. Yeah. There you go. Well, I didn't. I did the easy thing. No, part of a story you don't know. Here you go. So, who thinks I did the easy thing? Oh, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Get them up. Okay, you all know I chose the easy thing. I did. I literally said, okay, I've made a little bit of money, right? I'm going to give some money to a charity. That's what I thought. I generally thought to myself, let me donate some money to an ocean conservation organization that can do some good. Reasonable? Yeah. So I went around all these ocean conservation organizations in the UK and I said, I've got a bit of money to donate. Who wants it? Right? What can we do? And I started asking those questions because I'm learning. And do you know what I found very, very quickly? The two things that define me, right, is my upbringing and the skills I think that I've learned over the years. Right, my family, their history, being refugees, you know, being like the only person of color in my entire school. A lot of these things defined me. But one of the things that, you know, I took with me is actually like, I value these things. The city that I'm from, does anyone know cheese? Red Leicester? You know Red Leicester? Thank God. The best cheese in the world. Sponsor us. No. So I'm from Leicester. Leicester is actually, I believe it was, I don't know if it's now, but it was the most multicultural city in the United Kingdom. It's over 50%, like 50-50. So I've grown up with this amalgamation of cultures, Caribbean, African, Polish, German, Russian, like, you know, everyone in between, and we get on. It's like a melting pot. It's beautiful. So when I went to these conservation organizations, I realized very quickly they're all based on the coast. Because obviously oceans, coast, and I wanted to deal with ocean plastics. So the two questions I asked is, one, I like action. I'm a man of action, right? Go and do something. Even if I don't know what I'm doing, I will do a thing. So I said, how many cleanups do you do a year? Like, how many beach cleanups? How much plastic do you remove? And I got the same response time and time again. Well, we research. I'm like, okay. That's okay. I get it. Fine. Research is good. I went to the next one. 6 organizations later, I've realized it was just research. So then I'm looking in you know, charities, and I found some globally that were like, yeah, we do cleanups and stuff. In the UK, we're an island. We're surrounded by water. Like, we have lots of beaches, lots of rivers, lots of canals. So I was like, why is no one picking up the plastic? And then when we started asking people, they're like, that's the council's job. That's the Environment Agency's job. I'm like, they don't have the money. They don't have the resources. So why are we not doing it? Is it not my planet? Is it not my water, my community? And that was the question that I asked. Where's the community? Where's the diversity? Where's the men, women, people of color, different orientations, genders? Why is conservation not the most diverse thing in the world? Should it not be? We all need the ocean to survive, right? It provides a lot of our oxygen, provides food, provides climate, all these kind of things. Why is conservation not the single thing that unites people on this planet? Who likes football? Anyone like football? Shame on you. You know, but look, people look at sports, people look at arts. They say, look, oh, that art can unite the world. Not as much as conservation. If there is no planet, there is no people. There's no planet, there's no religion. No planet, no food, no culture, no race, no identity, whatever it may be. We all rely on this little marble that we're on, flying through space. So, should conservation not represent humanity? Should conservation not represent each culture, each city? Why is the face of conservation a specific type? And that was the questions I asked. And when I asked these organizations, no one could give me an answer. I think there was one organization that said, oh, and I asked the very blatant question. I said, where's people of color in these organizations, right? Where's the women? Where's kids off a council estate? Where's disadvantaged communities? Because everyone in these organizations lived on the coastline in rural little villages and quite privileged. And I thought, okay, go back to my school days, go back to my community. Did anyone in my entire life say to me, do you want to come and clean a river with us? Do you want to plant some kelp? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do a beach clean? Not a single time in 18 years of me growing up in the community and the part of the city I'm from, did anyone ever ask my community, my people? No one ever asked us that. But why? And in one organization, and I won't name it, but thank God, they gave me the truth. This guy turned around and went, well, to be honest, people like yours don't really do this kind of thing. Right? And at least I respect the fact that he said that. And I said, okay, so my people don't do this. What are my people to start with? I'm mixed race. I'm between everything. So, right? But I guess he assumed, yeah, you know what I mean? There's a lot of minorities. I guess I'm part of a general pact. But the idea was, okay, so why don't we do this? Is it industry? Is it self barriers? You know, a lot of time we don't want to put these issues to ourselves, ask ourselves these questions. Why am I not picking up plastics? Why am I not cleaning rivers? Why am I not cleaning beaches? You know, everyone knows the ocean starts at the drains outside this building. Every drain goes to a river. Every river goes to the ocean. It's as simple as that. The ocean should start realistically at your sink plug in your house. That's where the ocean starts. That's where you should think of it. But we don't think of it like that. We're like, I'd never throw a piece of plastic on the beach. That's horrible. But we will shove stuff down the drain, right? We'll even get a fork and push it down. That's the idea, that we need to change how we interact with the world, how we interact with ourselves, our communities, our institutions, and start just seeing it more as a holistic process. If I damage the planet, I damage myself, right? I think Bob Marley said it best. It's not you and me, it's I and I. We're the same thing. Exact same thing that I thought. So from Vayyu, I did the hard thing this time, guys. You should be proud of me. Can I have a round of applause? Well, thank you. Thank you. First time in my life I did a hard thing. So I started my own charity because I wanted conservation to represent everyone. I didn't want to have it just for the coastlines. I wanted it for city communities. I wanted conservation in rivers, in canals, in schools, in education. Like actually have these honest conversations with real people, not standing here going, this is a great blue whale shark that you'll never see in your life because you're too poor to go to the ocean, right? That's the kind of conservation that I've seen, and I didn't want that. I wanted conservation that would be all inclusive. Can we get grants? Can we take people from the cities to the coast? Can we upskill people with blue skills, diving qualifications, sailing qualifications, getting on the water, getting in the water, by the water, seeing the water? You know, there's some schools we work with, right, on the coastline in England that are 2.5 miles, use kilometers out here, right? No idea what that is in kilometers, but you can work it out. So 3 kilometers, right? From the ocean, 70% of these school children had never been to the beach. Why is that? Because they lived on a council estate. They lived in a very low income housing thing. It wasn't important. Did they have the time? Did their parents have the resources? The school certainly didn't. So it's about making it accessible, diversifying conservation and doing these kind of things. So that's what the Vayyu Foundation started. And then let's talk about easy and hard. I had to name the project Ocean. Do you think I did the easy thing or the hard thing by putting a letter U in front of it? Easy or hard? You're in between. What do you think? Easy, hard? Wrong. It was the hard one. So I'm going to disagree with everything you say, by the way. So I had an experience when I was younger, and I learnt about a community of people. Has anyone ever heard of the Untouchables in India? I love you guys. You knowledgeable people. So I'd never heard of these, right? This is my communities once again, right? These are people that are related to my generations. Never heard of them in my life. Didn't know what an untouchable was. And for anyone that doesn't know, an untouchable is a person from a certain caste. In India, you have a caste system, middle, lower, upper, yeah? The untouchables fall below all of it. They're not even part of it. They are literally untouchable. If I hold this microphone and then an untouchable holds it, they would literally wash this microphone. We can't sit on the same chair. This chair is for none. Like, if you're untouchable, you can sit on that one. No one else can. It happens to this day, 2024. So actually, I thought, let me use that word. So we called it Untouchable Ocean to actually represent the lower caste communities, people that have disadvantaged backgrounds in conservation. And then I made it glossy and I've just put a letter U. Now it's the easy part. But that's what UOCEAN stands for, Untouchable Ocean. From that, thought, okay, what do I do now? It's great having ideas. It's great researching. It's great looking at it. But then how do I take my thoughts to action? And honestly, what do you think the first action is, by the way? Okay, let's do an example. I'm going to pick on you now. You want to start an ocean conservation organization. What is the first thing that you do? Research. Of course you said research. No, I didn't do research. What I did, I knew the house was on fire. I knew there's plastics in the water. My first point of call, because I'm a very simple person, honestly. That's why I love that welcome by Layla. Honestly, I'm very, very, like, I think very simply. I went out and I got a litter picker and I went and started pulling plastics out of a river. I know there's plastic in there. I don't need to research that. I can see it with my eyes. So I went and I started picking plastics. And from that, other people saw me. And do you know what? It was a weird thing because even though I had all of these ideas, I'm like, I'm going to start this ocean plastics conservation organization. When I was doing it the first time, honestly, and this is the truth, I felt a little bit embarrassed. And that was weird because considering I'm like, yeah, I'm part of the community, right? This is what I do. I'm here. I'd built myself up with this false idea of who I was, dragged myself up from literally the slums of Leicester to central London as an art director. Like I'd built something on myself and all of it was false. It was just a mental capacity, a mental picture. Yeah. And it comes from trauma, comes from all them things, from having nothing growing up. And actually, I'm picking this plastic and I'm like looking, I'm like, didn't want people to see me do it. And then I started going, why is that? This is the exact reason why I need to change this mentality. It should be a duty, it's an honor to serve our planet. What should I be embarrassed about that for? Right? So it's a conversation. As I said earlier, it's about people, it's interacting. How do we interact with the planet? Are we above picking plastic up off the street? Is it below anyone in here? It's the truth. You walk by it, oh, that's really bad. What are we having for dinner? Why are we not taking action in our cities? We say, oh, it's the council's job. I pay my taxes. It's your planet. Whether you pay tax, whether you do whatever, it's your home. You wouldn't do that in your house, would you? But you'd do it, allow it on the street. We need to change the idea. We're not just researching. We're not just studying. I'm not just here speaking. It's about what I represent. It's about what you represent. It's about what you feel. What's your ideals? Is this planet yours? Or are you just passing through? Take a bit of ownership. So that's what we did with UOCEAN, from me picking some plastic up. It was funny. There was a lady that day, actually, and this was interesting, reinforces the need to do this. As I'm picking this plastic up and I'm trying to dodge people, right? I'm not gonna lie, I was like, pick it up, put it down, just like woo, woo. Right? This lady's watching me. Old lady, bless her. Let's call her, give me a name. Maria. Hypothetical Maria. A name might not be, but let's say Maria. Maria's watching me. She's getting closer, getting closer, getting closer. And I didn't want to stare, right? You know, as a young man, you don't want to stare an old lady out. So I kind of like looked, but now she's like, you know that look, right? You've all got grandparents that do it. You know, they're just different generation. But anyway, now she's next to me. She's like, so I thought I had to say hi. So I was like, hello. And she looks at me and she smiles, right? And I was like, oh, friendly grandma, you know, good old Maria. And she said, don't worry, son. Your community service will be over soon. I fit the description, right? I wasn't dressed like this, by the way, my sailor looks. I'm in Barcelona. Usually I look I look a lot different. I'm usually wearing a hoodie and a hat and, you know, but the fact is she had profiled me, right? And it's probably from her community as well, right? From where she's from, the council estate or whatever it may be. The area I was in was quite a deprived area. But she thought in order to do a good thing, I had to be doing it for prison service. And do you know what? I smiled at her and I said, God bless you, Maria. I did say a few other words under my breath, but it doesn't matter, right? The fact is, it's only love here, right? But why did she think that? And that stirred my emotion to say, because conservation, ocean plastics, river plastics, doing good things like that is seen as a punishment. Why would an average person do that? Have you got a litter picker in your rooms? At your home? Let's be honest. No, a lot of people would say. Some people, I think you have. But the fact is, we don't because it's someone else's job, right? It's our planet. Stop thinking it's someone else's job. It's all of our jobs. 7 billion people thinking it's someone else's job has got us into this. And from that comment that she said, bless her cotton socks. From that, love did not do that. From that comment, I thought to myself, I'm going to make conservation so normal. I'm going to make it glossy. I'm going to make it fun. I'm going to make it young. I'm going to make it look good. And you're going to see a video in a minute just to prove that it does look good, right? Because the idea is, if you don't make this commercial, if you don't make this like look nice, how is the younger generation going to engage in it? We're up against Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, right? I personally do not understand it. I mean, I had an experience of TikTok the other night. I don't get it. Does anyone get it? You get it? You'll get it? No? I really don't. I had like pig ears on my head and stuff. It was weird. But the fact is, this is what we're up against. The younger people are being entertained. They're seeing things that always look cool. So I thought, how can I make conservation look cool? First thing, in fashion, right? Let's brand it nicely. But let's look at what we're making it from, the materials and things like that. And the idea is that we make it community values, community vibe. Every community has a different need. So all the communities I went into, I asked them, what do you like doing? What's your vibe about? You know, and it's so interesting. Started off with Leicester, then went to Birmingham, Nottingham, London. Then from that, started going abroad. Then it was like Indonesia, then it was Singapore, Hong Kong, and so forth, right? And then the movement spread. So today I stand here, we've got 33 sites worldwide, UOCEAN chapters. That's where you clap. Right? Oh, they nearly got it. Joking. But you know, 33 sites, 33 different communities working on either a river, a city, in schools, on the ocean. We're setting up river barriers to stop plastics from entering the ocean. I'll show you a little video. This is 1 minute 45. And it collates just a small snapshot of what I've done in 4 years. 4 years of actually just taking action every day, 16, 17, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, actually making an impact. So if you'd like to play it and we can all watch. I like the robotics.
I was born in this country and decided to make a difference.
Guess that's time for me to go back on stage. 1 minute.
You ocean, peaceful, democracy.
Everyone like that? Pretty cool. So across the UK, across Southeast Asia, across the Caribbean, across Europe, it was actually, the conversation was everyone near enough, right, can do something. We've got people that come out with us, right, in wheelchairs. We've got people that come out with us from communities that can't even get to the location, and we organize transport for them, right? The idea is actually that you give someone an option to do something good and you make it easy, right? Because we all love the easy way. Yeah, apart from one person who said hard way. The idea, make something easy, make something appealing with a positive impact, then you're going to have great results. And that's what UOCEAN stands for. It's simple, accessible conservation. When we're looking at river barriers, right? This is a concept here. Would a surgeon, right? Would a surgeon, someone's bleeding out on the table, right? Would they start mopping up the floor? Or would they stem the bleeding? Which one? Hopefully. Depends what hospital, right? And if you've got insurance. So the idea here, right, is that actually when we looked at it and we see these organizations, going around the ocean doing these things, my thing was, yeah, it's important to get plastics out of the ocean. But the ocean covers 70% of our planet, right? It's a big, big place to find a small bit of plastic. How do we do that? Are there more ways that are more effective? Simpler ways? Because we're not going to solve the problem completely, right? We're always going to use plastic. As much as people say, like, let's ban plastic. Great thing. What are we going to use instead? Because this is the conversation that you've got to have. And I'm not going to stand here and say, oh, go on. There you go, right? We ban plastic straws. Do you know actually how many turtles get a plastic straw stuck up their nose? Quantifiably. Come on, it's not much, right? But we celebrated it and we should celebrate these wins. But the fact is, imagine the amount of resources they put in, all the hours, the thousands and thousands of hours to ban plastic straws in a few countries. But yet 10 countries emit up to 80% of all ocean plastics. If you'd put them same resources into actually putting river barriers to stop the plastic going out, not just straws, barrels, crisp packets, sachets, equipment, all of the things every day, the thousands of tons of plastic becoming ocean plastics. And we put our resources into these things, which I'm not mocking. We need to do that. It's a multifaceted approach, but why would we not stem the bleeding? You know, there's people out there with billions of pounds and they go, oh, I'm going to give, 100 million or whatever to charity. But to a conservation organization, that's great. And they go, we're going to do more research. We've researched ocean plastics time and time again. We actually got offered money before, right? And we were looking for it. We were looking for sponsorship. And this body said, we've got money for you, right? We want to sort you out. And I was like, amazing, payday, right? And he said, we want you to research ocean plastics. And I said, what would you want doing in that research? Well, they went, we'll just sort of find out how much plastic there is out there. I said, that's been done. I said, there were cameras put on all of these rivers. Over 1,000 rivers had cameras put on them and measured over a 12-month period through AI how much plastic pieces were going down. The ones you could see, not even microplastics, right? Because that's in the trillions. But just the pieces you could see, it's been done. We know the house is on fire. But everyone wants to know how hot? How hot? The roof looks a bit hotter than the downstairs. When are we going to pick up the water bucket and start actually trying to fix the problem? Because we can research it, we can talk about it, right? But when are we actually going to take action? When can you do something that will even inspire people to take action? Whether it's through art, whether it's through media, whether it's through direct action. When are you going to do something? Even if you just take action in your own lives. We're not asking for people to become superheroes, but within your community, how many people do we WhatsApp a day? Instagram a day, right? IMO, all the other channels, WeChat. How many times do we actually give each other, inspiration for conservation, to look after the very thing that keeps us alive? We don't. We just carry on in our lives, right? Because we have busy lives. We've got events to go to, things to do, homework, research, whatever it may be. But my job here today is to try and inspire you to say, what can I do at home? What can I do in my university? What can I do in my friendship circle? What can I do in my community? What can I do with my family? Those who've got kids, taking your kids to do a beach cleanup? Just by doing the action, is it going to save the planet? No. Is it going to inspire a next generation if everyone does that? 100%. And that's what I say, the amount of plastic we pull out the ocean is nowhere near the amount that's going in every day. So we're always against the tide, but does that mean that we just stop? No, because every single person that takes an action can ultimately then have a macro effect. So one person can become 7 billion, but we just need to keep going at it. Yes, we need government policy. We need laws. We need packaging, right? We need new things. We need whatever it is to carry society on. But can we do it in a better way? Can we do it in a healthier way, a more holistic way? Can we change our lifestyles? Not drastically, but are there small changes? One thing that I did, I get it, in our lives, there's some things that we have when we say, that's a I love doing it. Whatever it may be, right? What's people's hobbies here? What's your hobby? Snowboarding, right? There's certain things in people's lives when you go, look, I don't care if the planet's on fire, I am going to snowboard, right? There's certain things, right? There's non-negotiables. I get that. But are there things in your life that you can actually negotiate with? When you're looking at your cafeteria, you go to pick some in, crisp packet. Crisp packets can't be recycled very easily. It's got 4 layers, lamination, foil, print, inside bit, the next bit. It's about 8 layers all the way through. Really difficult to recycle. The materials will last for hundreds of years, right? A lot of time bins say, do not put in the same bin as recycling. But yet we buy it, we consume it. How long does it take to eat a bag of crisps? I was going to say 2 minutes, but maybe that's me. I like food, but hey, don't laugh. So the idea is, we've just consumed something. Let's average it, right? 10 minutes. We've had a product that's lasted 10 minutes for our consumption, but it's going to be in the environment for hundreds of years. Is it worth it? Is that a non-negotiable, right? You might love crisps, who knows? But plastic water bottle. Everyone goes, yeah, but I put it in the recycling. That's a great thing, right? I'm recycling it. How much of plastic globally is actually recycled? Does anyone know the stats? 7 to 9%. That's it. That's in the entirety of all the plastic, the millions and millions and millions of tons of this. 7 to 9% is recycled. It's a broken system. Recycling does not work in its current format. And the worst thing is, you look around the world, a lot of these countries don't have the correct systems to be able to recycle. Even look at Europe. What do? We send a lot of our recycling abroad. We send it to Far East Asia. We send it to India. And then we say, we recycled it because we sent it abroad. No, you're creating a dump in someone else's country. That's the truth, right? So the fact is, all of these things, I'm not saying they're not good to do. Recycle where you can, right? Some of it will get recycled. Separate it. Look at what can be recycled, but what can be reused. And also, how can we just consume less? How can we actually change some of our habits? I get it. Some things are non-negotiable. I've got some non-negotiables, right? We all have. But actually, there's a lot of our lives we can negotiate. We can look at how we interact with these items, how we interact with the planet. A simple thing that we did as an organization, we thought, okay, we need like laptops. We need a laptop. We need some phones, right? Trying to build this momentum. Could have gone to the shop and just gone, yeah, we'll go to Apple, Microsoft, whatever. But no, we sat down and said, are there any organizations that do like refurbished ones, upcycled ones? Do they do something? Found this amazing company. So all the staff in the organization have these upcycled phones, right? And it shows you how much carbon you've saved, how much landfill you've saved, right? So that wasn't a non-negotiable. It was just thinking for a second. So it's like, what I want to do today is just inspire you to say, what can I do in my lives? I can tell you 100% I do not have the answers, right? That is one thing I can guarantee you. Because so many people will tell you what to do, give you a roadmap. A lot of these roadmaps start in your houses, start in your universities, start in your businesses. These roadmaps need to come from your mind and then do research. I do agree with that. You do need research. You do need knowledge. But the fact is, some of these things can be really simple. Taking action on your street, in your community. Have you ever thought on a Friday, after you finish work or after you finish lectures, why don't I get 5 of my friends and we'll just go and clean up the port, go and do a beach clean, go to a local river. Should we plant some trees? Can we find somewhere, right? How many times do we have all of this time and we fill it with everything else, but supporting the very ecosystem that allows you to live? Doesn't make sense. And for a lot of my life, I thought the same. It didn't make, for me, I just carried on, right? It's like sheep without, to the slaughter. Just head down, going about. So what I want to do is inspire everyone. Like, the fact is someone inspired me to look up and just say, oh, geez, I can do something. And it's funny though, because when you start doing that thing, how do you feel? How does it feel to serve this planet? You embarrassed? Is it below you? Or is it your duty? Is it your honor? Could you stand up in front of people like this and say, I happily pick litter around the world? Yeah. I'll tell you a story in closing, right? I was at a conference recently. Walked into this big networking room, right? And I'm the speaker. It was similar to this, right? Bigger. I walk in, didn't have a name badge, none of that stuff. And I just walk in and you see everyone, they're all like hunting, like networking, serious networkers. Anyway, and the first person comes up to me and they went, hi, what do you do? So I just went, oh, I picked litter. And they went, and literally they had the hand on their business card. And they went, oh, that's really good, really good. And he carried on walking. And I thought, wow, this is great. So then every person that came up to me, they were like, hi, what do you do? You know, business card on the side. I was like, oh, I collect trash. And they're like, good job. And this happened, right? This went on for 30 minutes and I was loving it. I'm like the world's most glorified litter picker, right? This was a great thing. And then as it comes time to everyone to sit down, we had a host come on. She goes, oh, I just want to welcome Global Project Director, UOCEAN, Desai. And I stood up on the stage and the people, I could see them sitting in the audience melting. They were like, and I was humble enough not to pick them out. But do you know what it taught me? Picking plastics, conservation work, all of these kind of things, it's not what people wanted to hear. They wasn't impressed by it. For me, it's the biggest badge of honor I could ever have. I'm serving my planet. I'm serving my community. I'm serving the next generation. For me, it's service. So I ask you all today, what can you do to have an impact on this planet in a positive way that resonates with you and your life? Thank you.